So this is top and tailing the gooseberries. The gooseberries have just been picked and they end up with, what would you call them, little nubbins bits on the ends, don't they? Yeah, so they have those little knobbly bits like a top and tail. They have a little stalky bit in the tail and you have to just pick them off with a knife is good. And then we're collecting them all in this bowl and then they'll be ready for the next step. Alright, so we're at the next stage here. So we've got the gooseberries that Mum picked in the garden. She's topped and tailed them and now she's giving them a wash. Get all the little bits and pieces that might be stuck on them. They are organic, aren't they, Mum?
Yes, yeah.
Alright, so we're just going to drain them in the colander. Now, what have we got here?
These are £1 colander jars. They've been in the dishwasher, but I've just rinsed them out.
So we put them in the dishwasher because we need to have them sterilised. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, you need them fairly clean, yes, because they're going to go in the oven anyway. But you need to squash them down as much as you can because they will shrink in the oven. So it saves you having to top them up too much, fill them right to the top. Now this is a method that I use. I fill them all up like that, and that's a £2 one, so you do exactly the same with the £2, just so you can get a few more in these.
Okay, so here we've got all the jars with all the gooseberries in them. You can see we've got 2 big jars and we've got 5 smaller jars. So the smaller jars hold £1 of fruit and the big ones hold £2 of fruit. So we've got £9 of fruit here. And the next step is we're going to make some syrup to make it a little bit sweeter to put into it. Now it's really important that you space out the jars on the paper so they're not touching and you've got maximum space in between them, you can see. Also what we've done is put some newspaper on the bottom of the tray. So you've got foil and then newspaper because these jars are made of glass and if they break then the newspaper is going to help to absorb the liquid and just make it easier to clean up afterwards. So here we're making the sugar syrup. Now how do you calculate?
3. I'm doing 1 tablespoon for £1 of fruit, £1 jars.
6, okay, 7, we've got 9.
8, 9.
So it's 9 big spoons. Okay, so the sugar is now dissolved. So we're going to top up the gooseberries. And how much liquid are you putting into each one?
I'm just putting a little bit in each one. Do the £1 ones first.
So obviously you have to move the shelves around to be able to get them all in. All right, so
I'm going to put the timer on for 30 minutes.
all right, and then we check them. So they've been in the oven for how long now?
About 40 minutes now, so I did increase it a little bit. But
So they're starting to come down a little bit, but they're not where we want them to be.
yeah,
How much longer do you think they're going to need?
I'm going to just do them another 10 minutes.
So meanwhile, while they're still in the oven, we're preparing the lids or the seals. So Mum's just sterilising them now with boiling water. As you can see, it's pretty easy. Just pour boiling water on top of them.
And these are the tops. we've got some are plastic and some are just metal tops.
Okay.
But before we take them out, we do need a kettle full of boiling water because we're going to top them up with water as well.
Okay, so we're just going to boil a big kettle of water and then come back to them when they're ready. Okay, so the alarm just went off on the oven.
Oh, they have gone down now, yeah. They're nearly there. And that one hasn't so much. Can you see the bubbles?
So to check that the gooseberries are done, we're looking to see little bubbles rising up from the bottom of the jars. We also want to see that the gooseberries have sunk down and they're no longer overflowing the top level of the jars.
Yeah, they've shrunk the back ones already.
So what do you do if some of them are done and others aren't?
Yeah, I'm going to have to leave them just a little bit longer.
You just keep them all in, you don't take the ones out.
No. Right, I'm ready for the first one.
Okay, so we've got the prep station here, we've got the lids over there. Dad is here with his strong hands to handle the screwing on part. So you have to do this part quite quickly, I think, Mum.
Yes, pour the boiling water right up to the top.
Whip the lid on really quickly. And these are very, very hot.
It's a two-man job. Well, it makes it quicker anyway.
Well, you can do it on your own, but it's just a lot of
Make
bits
sure
and
the water
pieces.
is boiling there.
Do you literally put it in until it overflows? So that's why you've got the little tray.
I'm taking one out at a time as well. So.
Yeah, so the other ones are still in the oven. And you want to try and get them as tight as you can, do you, Dad?
Yeah, very tight, yeah.
So here are all our jars of gooseberries. They've now all been cooked, and at this point we're waiting to see the lids pop in. And at the moment, I don't know whether you can see, but the lids are slightly poking outwards. But when they start to cool down, they are going to create a vacuum and then suck in the lids, and that will mean that they're perfectly sealed and they're good to store. If for any reason they don't pop in, it means that we either have to recook them and put the lid on again, or take them out of the jar and freeze them in plastic bags, or of course you can just eat and enjoy. Whoa, that was a big one. That was that one. This one here.
You got that?
I did. So that's what happens, folks.